Hello, this is Jeffrey, and I'm popping in here to tell you about the wonderful fiction podcast, The Amelia Project. Have you ever daydreamed about disappearing and starting over? What if there was a company that provided that service? That's the premise of the comedy fiction podcast, The Amelia Project. It's a show about a secret death-faking agency. In each episode, you hear a new client being interviewed, and the dilemmas that bring them to the death-faking agency are in turn funny, thought-provoking, or downright surreal. I think if I was going to fake my own death, I'd probably go with something like Lost in the Mountains, hiking or mountaineering or something like that, just disappearing into thin air. Anyway, the show is unique and tackles philosophical questions and impossible dilemmas with a lightness of touch, always making you laugh. Since it's a series with an overarching plot, we recommend you start with episode 1, and you'll soon be hooked on this weird, funny, mysterious, and exciting show. You can find The Amelia Project wherever you listen to podcasts. Please go check it out.
Le Hotel du Palais, Megève, French Alps, April 8th, 2028.
En boulevardier avec des glaçons, mademoiselle.
Merci. My God, 2 calls in a week. You are gonna spoil a girl, Dr. Blackwell. Greetings from the Alps.
Amy, listen, we've got a situation.
Nice job with that heart stuff, by the way. Look at you, being the hero of the day.
Amy, that's not what
Although,
I'm
way
here-
to not tell me what was at stake with that translation. It might have been nice to know what I was
Amy!
dealing.
Are you around to television? Can you turn on WNC right now?
I think so. Give me just a, excusez-moi? Est-ce que la télévision... Sorry, does this TV work?
Oui, mademoiselle.
Would you mind putting on WNC?
Non. Non, pas de souci.
Read was from the history of the country.
Teppanyaki, chef. I'm afraid... WNC has now worked with the FBI to confirm the authenticity of this recording, which shows
Adam,
the operation we just learned about.
What
When they set
is
out,
this?
local
Just
agents
watch.
had expected to spend days dredging the swamp, but the coordinates provided were, in the words of Special Agent Gerald Borden, quote, accurate to the millimeter, end quote. The salvage operation recovered a body from the swamp, roughly 42 miles to the east of Detroit. Dental records have verified the identity of the body as that of James Hoffa, the infamous labor union leader.
What?
Mr. Hoffa was known for his
In
work
the
with the Teamsters
hell?
Union, as well as for his reputed involvement with the world of organized crime. His disappearance in 1975 has stood as one of the most famous unsolved mysteries in American history for more than 5 decades. And that is likely the way
Adam,
it would
what
have
does this
stayed
have to do with...
Watch.
for an anonymous tip delivered to the FBI. A copy of the message was sent to our producers today. It contained the following message. I have used magic to divine the location of this body. Consider this proof of what I can do. Get ready. We're gonna have some real fun now. Veritas Tyrannos Vincit. Signed, the Doom Scroller. The Latin quote roughly
Adam?
translates to
Stay
Truth conquers tyrants.
Stay where you are. I'm
Triumphs
gonna get the first
over
plane back to Chicago. We gotta...
Obviously, this is a
We gotta talk about this.
Yeah,
We are
no
learning
shit.
new things every hour.
See you soon.
But we can at least say that the implications of today's events seem clear. We are now living in a world where 3 humans are capable of using magic.
Audacious Machine Creative presents The Harbingers, created by Gabriel Urbina. Episode 9, The Revolution Starts Now.
All right. I think it's time to get into this. Number 3.
The Doom Scroller.
The third magician of the modern world. Possessed of...
Shral Teveren. The Ring of Divination.
and gifted with the power to know anything he wants.
About anything he wants.
A few days ago, Dr. Blackwell called the Doomscroller, and I quote, an egotistical anarchist, wildly irresponsible, and an active danger.
What's that old saying about stopped clocks?
You agree with his evaluation, then? I thought you were supposed to be the radical one.
No, not like that. A forest is born. A forest grows up. Old, dead trees gather up, stopping anything new from growing. Sometimes a fire is the only thing that can clear it up. It can be scary, but it can be healthy.
And that's what the Doomscroller is doing?
What? No, that's what I'm doing. The Doomscroller is the high school bully burning down the whole forest and the farm next to it with a can of gasoline he stole from his dad's auto body shop, just because he thought it'd be funny.
All right, let's take this one step at a time. April 8th, 2028, the Doomscroller announces himself, proves his bona fides. Where were you when the news came out?
Europe. The Alps. I'd just done a couple of shows over there. Munich, Amsterdam, Paris. I had a few days off. Thought I'd get some quiet in a resort town, catch up on my reading.
Instead,
I got on a plane and went back to Chicago to talk to Adam.
And what were you thinking when you got there?
I mostly wasn't thinking yet. I'd done 5 shows in 6 days. I'd flown halfway around the world. I was jet-lagged. My brain hadn't caught up to it all yet.
And Dr. Blackwell? What was his reaction?
Oh, he was very Adam about it all. Sinclair University, Adam Blackwell's office, 16 hours later.
Okay.
Okay.
It's got to be Anderson.
What?
Stellan Anderson. From Oslo. Remember, we met him back at the academic conference back in... whatever, it doesn't matter.
Adam.
It has to be him. Who else? I mean, it's not Karen Jung. It's not Eddie Rowbottom. It's not Burke or Ramirez.
Adam.
Nobody else has been to any new dig sites in the past 6 weeks or had access to any of the new chambers that they found in...
Adam!
What? What's wrong?
Nothing, Adam. I just need you to do me a teeny, tiny little favor and wake the fuck up! Stellan Anderson? Karen Jung? Are you trying to be fucking funny right now?
No. What? Amy, it has to be an academic. Who else would have access to the places where we...
So many people! Governments, militaries, industrialists. Half of what we have in the Petrie site was dug up by Board Electric so they could put up a fucking windmill.
Archaeologists and academics are the only ones venturing into the lower chambers of the Harbinger ruins. It stands to reason that it would be...
Things change! We changed things. Because now the world knows that these things are out there, and people might like to get a ring that gives them fucking magic powers. Look, it doesn't matter how he got the ring. However it happened, he has it. So now the question is...
What is he going to do with it? What can he do with it?
I've got a theory about that, actually. Here. They dug this statue up in Atacama a little while ago. Now, just enough of the carvings around it were intact to make some sense of it. What?
You're playing shows all over Europe and you're still keeping up with what they're finding in Argentina? How many fucking hours are there in your day, Sterling?
I don't sleep much. And I like to read. So the account that's chiseled into the wall talks about an old king or a judge of some sort. It says he was able to conjure knowledge about any subject, no matter
how dark or forbidden. Yeah, there was some stuff about that in the slabs from the Desolation Islands. Wait a minute. If this isn't an academic, how are they doing any of this? How would they know the language of the stars they need to use these powers?
Well, Adam, I don't know if you remember, but... here we go. Our old professor published a book about Harbinger linguistics last year.
What? No. Julian's book is an academic reference. There's not enough in there to get more than a rudimentary grasp on the most basic parts of why are you looking at me like that?
Because, my wonderful little village idiot, if you have a rudimentary grasp on the most basic parts of the language and a ring that lets you conjure knowledge out of thin air...
You might be able to use it to put together as much of it as you need to. Fuck. So you're telling me I just spent a year of my life brute forcing my way to understanding this thing, and this doom scroller can just snap his fingers and know more than I do? Jesus Christ! This is all my fault.
Okay, I'll bite. You want to explain what insane rationale is?
It's both our faults.
Going to lead to that conclusion? Excuse me?
What I did with the heart? With everything you do? We should have been more careful. Stayed in our lane. If we refused to do anything with our powers except study them, if we had been more responsible...
Oh my God! That would have stopped exactly nothing and no one. We have magic. Other people are gonna want magic. It's as simple as that.
Amy, you said it yourself. We changed things. Yeah, we did. And if we use our powers without thinking things through, there's gonna be consequences. Where are you going?
I think we're done here, Adam. I'm gonna head out before you say something I'm gonna make you regret.
Did you make contact with the doom scroller, either of you?
Both of us tried. Open invitations to talk through news broadcasts. I took out a full-page ad in the Times. We got nothing back.
And then a week after his initial announcement...
His declaration of war, posted all over the internet from 1,001 phantom accounts.
Righto, you fucking cunts. Here's the rules of the game. Once a day for the next 100 days, I'm going to reveal something about the most powerful men and women on the planet. Something shocking and dark, something they've tried to keep hidden. In many cases, something fucking hysterical. They cannot find me, they cannot buy me, they cannot stop me, and I bloody well promise you...
This is just the beginning. At first, it was like... What does this even mean? We thought that...
I thought.
I hoped he was kidding. That what was coming would just be embarrassing or... I don't know. Then the next day, the first of the leaks showed up everywhere.
James Harridan, the front-runner in the Democratic primary.
Who, it turns out, had used government connections to help disgraced crypto millionaire Russell Gould fake his own death in exchange for a little over $60 million in carefully laundered campaign contributions.
And in the middle of it all, still found the time to have an affair with the widow Gould.
It was shocking, outrageous, and impossible to look away from. 6 days later, Harridan withdrew his nomination to be president.
And it was just the beginning. In the following days, the doom scroller would leak information about the U.S. Secretary of State,
who had been secretly arranging weapon deals with insurgent groups,
movie stars,
including the one who'd killed one of his former girlfriends,
the president of Italy,
who'd embezzled about 42 million euro through a phony welfare campaign,
even private wealthy citizens like Frank Wilkinson.
Who? Oh, the horse guy. Oh, yeah, that was fucked up. Credit where it's due. The doom scroller never said anything that wasn't true. He never hit anyone for petty shit, and he went after people all over the world of all political affiliations. There was no agenda to it. It was just...
an asshole burning down the forest because he thought it'd be funny?
Anarchy. It was anarchy. By the end of the spring, people were losing their goddamn minds. New York City, May 2028. 33 days into the Doomscroller's 100 Days of Revelation.
There's really nothing you can do about this.
Trust me, if there was, I'd do it. But even if I knew where the Doomscroller was, as far as we know, our rings make us immune to each other's powers. All I could do is talk to the guy, and if he doesn't want to talk to me, then...
Right. An impasse, then.
Why don't you do something about it? You have more money than God, tentacles all over the planet. You were able to conjure up a 6,000-year-old magical artifact out of thin air. You basically have magic of your own.
Oh, I've tried. And I'll keep trying. But so far, private investigators, surveillance networks, identity detection algorithms, and contacts in the FBI, CIA, and British intelligence have resulted in absolutely nothing to show for my troubles. How can one man be this hard to find?
He may be unfindable. Well, Harbinger mythology has this recurring element of mirrors and duality, and I can read minds, but I can also put things into them. Back and forth, above and below. With me? Okay, the Doomscroller's powers let him divine information. Let him know things he shouldn't. What if they can also do the opposite? What if he can take something that should be knowable and make it impossible to know? For example...
His identity. Or his whereabouts. I see. All right. In that case, we pivot. If we can't stop the Doomscroller, we survive him.
Which requires what?
Well... less corrupt leadership in the Democratic Party would be a good start.
Okay, let's not be too dramatic. Harridan hurt, but Myers has pulled a coalition together that could easily...
No, I've spoken to Jennifer Myers. The skeleton in her closet is... Well, I expect you'll find that out sometime in the next 67 days.
Okay, then Thompson, he'll... No, right, he was implicated with Harridan, and... Greer had that stuff with the oil companies.
I see you're starting to grasp our problem.
Well, the other side's gonna get it too. What we learned about Walker was not gonna...
Walker's Teflon. The people that love Walker don't care that he's corrupt. More to the point, it isn't news that he's corrupt. So what if he kept more of his media companies than he claimed to? So what if he let his friends ransack the government? As long as he's gaming the system in their favor, all is forgiven. That's the problem in this country. One side just needs a lightning rod. The other needs a paragon.
And where are we going to find one?
Mr. Eckerberg, it's starting.
Thank you, Gloria. I hope you don't mind, Miss Stirling. I was hoping to catch something on the television.
You watch ANN.
Think of it as opposition research.
Welcome back. You are tuned into the Watts Report. I'm your host, Chris Watts. Following the withdrawal of frontrunner James Harridan, much has been made of the chaos in the Democratic primary. While leading candidates like Jennifer Myers and Joseph Greer have been getting much of the media's attention, other challengers still remain in the race. Our guest today is a freshman congresswoman from Illinois who is currently polling at a little over 3%. Andrea Shepherd, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Chris. Pleasure to be here.
Ms. Shepherd, let's begin with your platform. Your policies have been criticized by members of both parties for being too radical. How do you respond to those who say you're too extreme for America?
First off, Chris, that's Congresswoman Shepherd.
Sure, Congresswoman.
Thank you. Secondly, I'd respond by saying they're not radical.
How can you say that?
I can say they're not radical because they're just not. Accessible health care, affordable living conditions, common sense environmental policies, none of these are new ideas. If I was sitting here calling for the dissolution of banks or the confiscation of wealth from our richest citizens, that would be a radical leftist position. But I'm not. What I'm advocating for is just a liberal platform that is actually liberal. And if you take the time to go through what I'm proposing, it's all things that the United States has done in the past or that our first world neighbors have been doing for decades.
And many would say those European nations are on the brink of ruin thanks to these practices. Do we really want to import the crises Europe has been facing for...
What crises are those? The Netherlands' healthcare index, Finland's social progress rate, Denmark's public education, maybe?
No, that's...
Because, frankly, I'm tired of our country not leading in those fields. It should and easily could.
And would you also bring Denmark's taxes to America? The tax rate that you're proposing
is still considerably lower than most of your viewers' grandparents would have paid before Ronald Reagan hypnotized this country into thinking there was a section in the Bill of Rights against taxes.
But you can't compare the 1950s to... What you are proposing would make companies and job providers flee America, like...
No, it wouldn't.
Could I just finish explaining?
No. Because what you're about to explain isn't true. There is no evidence to suggest that companies pick up sticks and run away at the slightest increase in their taxes. You know why?
Well, we've heard from CEOs that...
Because infrastructure, public health, and education all have a much greater impact on companies' bottom line. And I would never insult American businesses by acting like they don't know that.
Well, that's debatable, but...
It's not. There's 40 years of...
Let's come back to that. Congresswoman, if there is something in which you're radical, it's your stance on immigration. There are videos of you calling for the abolition of ICE or protesting the deportation of illegal, dangerous criminals. Shouldn't we work to mitigate the crisis at our border, not to make it worse?
Chris, I believe that respecting our laws is important and that everyone should come here legally. And I also believe that Americans should be proud of our history and our heritage as a nation of immigrants. We should be f***ing thrilled that people all over the world want to make our country...
A simple yes or no, Congresswoman. If you were president, would you secure our borders?
Yes, I would. And I would mainly do it by providing more sensible legal ways for people to come here.
And the loss of our culture, our traditions, our identity?
Chris, I think America's is the greatest, richest, most resilient culture on the planet. I think it can take a little competition, no problem. But I'm curious now, so tell me, why do you think it's so weak and fragile that it has to be coddled?
Congresswoman, are you taking any of this seriously? Do you actually think you can win the nomination?
Winning the nomination is not my job.
Isn't it your only job?
No. I'm not here to say the things that get me elected. I'm here to articulate what I believe is the best way forward for this country. People can vote for me or not, but they deserve one candidate with a legitimate liberal platform on the ballot. That's why I'm doing this.
All right. Well, it's been a...
Miss Stirling, would you be able to make an introduction for me?
I think I could, yeah. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking 200 million. 200 million to start with.
The Harbingers will be back after these messages.
IPVanish protects every device you own. Your phone, your laptop, your smart TV. If it connects to the internet, it should be protected. IPVanish encrypts your connection and masks your IP address, helping keep your browsing private at home and on public Wi-Fi. And with no device limits, one account covers everything. Stream with added privacy. Browse securely. Connect with confidence. Online protection made simple. Right now, save 83% off the 2-year plan. Get started today at ipvanish.com/audio and take control of your privacy with IPVanish.
And now, back to the Harbingers.
Miss Stirling, could I ask a possibly indelicate question? 2027, 2028, even most of 2029, you went considerably out of your way to never be seen in public with Mr. Eckerberg. Campaign events, press conferences, public appearances, you always stayed well away from one another. Or, perhaps more to the point,
I stayed well away from him.
If you met, it was behind closed doors. The rare times you actually met around other people, any conversation of substance happened in the privacy of your minds, if Christmas 2028 is anything to go by. Whence all the secrecy about this association?
What can I say? I've always been very protective of my privacy.
Ms. Stirling, it's all the same to me. Answer the question, waste some time by being cute, and then answer the question. Only thing that's going to change is how many hours I bill. So, what's going to be? How much money do you want me to make today?
It wouldn't work. What I was trying to do, it wouldn't work. Standing next to Jerome Eckerberg. If the world saw me associating with him, I'd just be one more part of the machine. If I stayed independent in the eyes of the world, I could be something that changed the machine. The Silver Witch had to be a host unto herself.
You've traded being cute for being clever, but that's still not it. What's the real answer? She that is proud eats up herself.
You think it was pride? That I didn't tell people I was working with Eckerberg because I was, embarrassed?
That is exactly what I think, yes. I think you made a deal with the devil. And when the devil owns your soul, the thing you want the most is to be free. So you act as though there isn't a chain around your wrists. And when the devil's clever, he lets you feel like you're free. Until he needs something from you, and then, oh no, you're not.
First Shakespeare, then poetry. Now who's being cute and clever?
Tell me I'm wrong.
I can't, all right? Is that what you want to hear? But if I hadn't done it, I wouldn't have gotten this ring on my finger, and without my ring, I wouldn't have been able to do all of the good that I have done these past 4 years. So, I am only going to be so contrite about all of this.
All right. Let's get back to the good then. For example, you got Andrea Shepherd elected president.
No, I didn't.
Didn't you? Shepherd is often called the magician president. Political historian Ernest McNamara famously said that her campaign started with the most powerful man in the world, got serious with the doomscroller, and was victorious thanks to the Silver Witch.
Miss Skinner, I know you didn't mean anything by it, but Andrea Shepherd won Andrea Shepherd's election. Do not say otherwise in my presence.
Understood. My apologies.
No, I'm sorry. Sorry, that's not what they call her. Well, it's not all they call her. The magician's president. Like we're above her or some bullshit.
Let me try to rephrase myself, just for the sake of clarity, okay? Andrea Shepherd launched her presidential campaign on November 1st, 2027. For the first few months, everyone wrote her off as a protest candidate.
Or as someone doing a practice run for a future campaign, yeah.
But then, in April of 2028, she gets an unexpected boost in press coverage when fate makes her the right person in the right place at the right time to make sure Adam Blackwell teleports a heart to Japan and saves the life of America's favorite up-and-coming actor. Several established politicians are ahead of her in line, but the doomscroller clears out the clown car. By the time the Democratic Convention starts on July 27th, just 3 days after the doomscroller's 100 Days of Terror end, she's the last man standing.
In a manner of speaking.
In a manner of speaking. Unlikely as it might have seemed at the start of the year, your friend the bartender had cleared every hurdle on her way to the White House.
All except one. The College of William and Mary, Phi Beta Kappa Memorial Hall, October 2028.
All right, got anything else?
Oh, here's a good one. So, right before you get on stage, try saying something and then halfway through, get all weird and sweaty and fidgety and just really fuck it up. Well, that way, when you're up there and you start to feel like things are going that way, you can just be like, nah, we did that already. Skip it.
Oh, yeah, okay, sure.
Oh, plan on getting really nervous. That way, when you do, it's like, hell yeah, everything is going according to plan.
Can someone get this woman away from me, please? She's an absolute psycho.
This is your 5-minute warning. 5-minute warning for President Walker and Congresswoman Shepherd.
I think that's me.
Miss Stirling, I need to take you to your seat now.
Well, that's definitely me. Listen to me, girlfriend. You lock the fuck in and show them who you are, yeah? Tonight's the night.
Bring it on.
Bring it the fuck on. I will be right in the audience cheering you on.
All right.
This way, Miss Stirling.
She's got this. She's got this.
Here, through this door.
No, I'm supposed to go out.
You know, the curiosity has just been killing me, so I gotta ask, why have you never liked me? Oh, come on, Miss Stirling. It's not a hard question, is it? We could have been friends. Lord knows I tried. I reached out. It could have been... We could have had a beautiful thing, you and I. But, no. You've always had such disdain for me. It's funny. When you're as well known as I am, you start to get a sense for the different ways in which people dislike you. For some folks, it's not personal. They're a Yankee, you're a Sox. That's the way it goes in the big leagues. For others, it's about superiority. They think they're smarter than you, or more sensible, or just more worthy than you are. I think that was Blackwell's whole deal. I met him, you know, once or twice back when your whole thing was first getting started. There's a man absolutely tripping over himself to find a reason to think he's better than you. That's all right. I can take arrogant. I can work with arrogant. But that's not you. No. You hate me. You hate me with your liver. If it was not illegal, you would kill me right here and now. So, let's have it. What did I do? How did I kick your dog?
I don't have to give you an answer.
No, of course you don't. But don't you want to tell me off? Just a little? I mean, when are you going to have an opportunity like this ever again? Come on, live a little.
Sure. If you really want to know. I don't like you, Mr. President, because you traffic in fear. Because at some point you realized that you could do the right thing and work hard and make people's lives better, or you could make them afraid. And if you scared them bad enough, that is all you had to do to win. And so that's what you did. Why do I have so much disdain for you? Because you made people afraid of women deciding whether they have kids or not. Why do I look down upon you? Because you made people afraid of climate change being a con that might rob them of their jobs in coal mines and oil pipelines, when what they should really be afraid of is half of our cities being underwater in their kids' lifetime. My liver hates you because you made people afraid of trans kids and of scientific research and of poor people, laughing at them when they cash in their welfare lobster dinners. But really, end of the day, I loathe you in ways English cannot express, because you made people afraid of anyone that had the fucking temerity to want to come to this country and live and prosper here. I hate you because the entire fucking arc of our moral history as a species is thinking it's okay to control what people could or could not do based on how they were born, and then realizing, oh no, wait, we should stop doing that because it's evil. And 100 years from now, when we have realized that limiting where people can live and work and grow and love and build and dream based on the random fucking happenstance of where they were born is evil, when that happens, history books are going to have pictures of what you are doing to human beings in this country, and those pictures are going to come with the caption, "We are never going back to this."
Anything else?
No, I think that about covers it.
Well, all right then. You know, Ms. Stirling, as hard as it may be to believe, I'm doing what I think is best for this country, my country, and I don't intend to give it up without a fight.
Get up on that stage. There is a fight waiting for you.
I don't doubt that for a moment, but that's not what I meant. Stacy!
Yes, sir?
You know, it's the damnedest thing. As I've been talking to Ms. Stirling here, I think I've started getting a headache. Could you have an aspirin and a glass of water ready for me?
Yes, sir, right away.
She's a good kid. Hardworking. Attentive. Patriotic. Big mouth, though. She blabs. And now she's seen you and me having a closed-door meeting right before a presidential debate. Anyway, where were we? Oh, right, not giving up my country without a fight. I'm no fool, Miss Stirling. I can see which way the wind is blowing. I'm not going to make it easy for Miss Shepherd, but I know a storm when one's about to hit me. But you can wait out a storm. You wanna... what? Just hand the biggest job in the world over to a naive, inexperienced little girl? Be my fucking guest. Have her take on the job. Have her deal with Russia and the economy and 180 million people who will absolutely hate her guts. Have her be a good little puppet for Eckerberg, too. Oh, you thought I hadn't caught that. Watch out for that one. He's a spider. And after you've done that for a bit, once the Visigoths have stormed the city gates and Rome is burnt for just long enough, I'll be back, and we'll do this all over again. And, in the meantime, I have a new thing to make people afraid of. You think I'm good at it now? Just you wait, Miss Stirling. Just you wait.
President Walker and Congresswoman Shepherd to the stage, please.
Well, Miss Stirling, nice talking to you. See you around.
Ladies and gentlemen, President Andrew Walker of California.
Fuck me.
A month later, America went to the polls. By the end of the night, it was clear it was going to come down to Arizona, Georgia, and Pennsylvania. Day after the election, they called Arizona for Shepherd. The day after, Georgia went to Walker. Finally, on Friday, Pennsylvania went to Shepherd with a margin of just a little under 50,000 votes.
And I exhaled properly for the first time since July.
It must have been a relief.
Not exactly. It didn't feel over. Or rather, the election was over, so now Andy had to do it. She had to be president. Had to prove herself to 390 million Americans.
And you felt responsible?
You know, I was the one that encouraged her to run for Congress. She used to throw that in my face all the time. And then at a certain point, she stopped throwing it in my face. I think she saw me getting a little freaked out by it.
Ms. Stirling, I hope that Without disrespecting our president's accomplishments, we can acknowledge what a pivotal role you played in the campaign. You spoke at 43 campaign events. You did 12 charity shows in 2 months. And, oh, yes, little thing behind the scenes, you connected her to Eckerberg, who became her biggest campaign donor. All sense of propriety aside, did you get our current president elected?
Some people certainly think so. Outside the Majestic Theater, Philadelphia, December 2nd, 2028. Hey guys! I can only hang out for a second, so let's see how many I can... yes, I can sign that. Thank you! Thank you for coming out. Yeah, sure. Let me just, Oh, did you enjoy the show? Oh, that's great. Thank you for coming out.
Miss Stirling. Miss Stirling?
Yeah, hi.
Can you, I want to ask you something.
Yeah, what's up?
How many people's minds did you change in Pennsylvania?
I'm not sure. I don't know how many shows I've done here.
No, that's not what I meant. How many people did you force to vote for Shepherd?
No, that's not what I do.
How many people? About, 50,000, give or take?
No, I would never. I don't do that.
Well, you're never gonna do it again. That's for sure.
Karia Lindro Ab. He missed. Each time. 4 shots and nobody got hit. Thank God.
Did you make him miss all of...
No, I wish I had. I tried. I started to cast a spell to make him, I don't know, drop the gun, stop, anything. But I barely got through half the incantation. His name is Eric Fisher. He had driven up from somewhere up in Fulton County, I think. The gun was his father's. He had just turned 19 a week earlier.
That was number 1.
That was number 1. That was the one where no one got hurt.
This has been The Harbingers, created by Gabriel Urbina. Come back on February 26th for episode 10, Boston. Today's episode was written by Gabriel Urbina. It was directed and sound designed by Jeffrey Nils Gardner. It featured the voices of Lauren Grace Thompson as Amy Stirling, Andrés Enriquez as Adam Blackwell, Emmy Bean as Claudia Skinner, Sabrina Odigie as Andrea Shepherd, Dan Granata as Jerome Eckerberg, Mark Soloff as Andrew Walker, Rachel Music as Jeanine Alfaro, Pat King as Chris Watts, Marsha Harman as Gloria, Elise Soeder as Stacy, and Christopher Wilson as Eric Fisher. It also featured the voices of Cornelius H. Moore, David Reinstrom, Eduardo de los Reyes, and D Cassellian. Our original music was composed by Nicholas Podany. Our original show art was created by Cassie J. Allen. The executive producer for this series is Eleanor Hyde. You can learn more about the show, see a timeline of the events of our story, and become a supporting member at audaciousmachinecreative.com. This is an Audacious Machine Creative production. Thank you for listening.
Today's history tidbit. On February 14th, 1992, Dr. Melissa Erickson was born in Sausalito, California.
The Fable and Folly Network, where fiction producers flourish.
Welcome to Magenta Presents, a new horror anthology hosted by me, Madam Magenta. We begin with the 5-part miniseries Ghosted, starring Beth Eyre and Lucy Roslin. Perched on a rain-battered cliff edge is a former lighthouse.
It's a charming, quirky boutique hotel.
Owner and sole occupant Beth has spent months renovating, absorbing its essence into her bones.
It's an old building. You'll get used to it.
But to Beth's horror, her first guest is a figure from a past she has tried to forget.
Kira?
Beth? What the fuck? Face to face for the first time in years, the pair must reckon with old mistakes, old grievances.
Beth, speak to me. Shut up.
And something else.
Oh, I can't bear it. What is that noise?
Because the lighthouse has a past, too.
Beth. He's right there. Why is there blood on your hands?
We need to get out of here.
Kira! Kira!
I can still see him!
Subscribe to Magenta Presents wherever you listen to podcasts. See you soon, fans of the esoteric. Bye!
Magenta.